RC Command leads the way. Nick here with our final video of the year. We just want to highlight some things and give you a top 10 of our most memorable moments. Way to open the year, Tim Cameron releases video from Mad Ram 11 about this monstrous leading arm 1400 horsepower rock bouncer. This has to be Bubba Bacon going trailing arm. Both the Bacon brothers definitely stepped up this year, and Bubba actually had a podium finish at the end of the year, so congratulations to those guys. So if Tim Cameron's building a new buggy, where do the rest of his buggies go? Well, Brandon Davis bought Showtime 2, and this year he showed up running orange on Unfinished Business. So we're 3 races into the season, and Tim Cameron has already DNF'd 2 races. That is not like him. I know that he stepped out on unfamiliar ground with some new products, but definitely not what we're used to seeing from Tim Cameron. So in May, we headed off to Warren, New Hampshire to film for High Octane Films for the Mountain Mud Run, and I'm very thankful to say that we ran into some RC rock bouncers there who still keep in touch with me. I was very thankful for that. I was able to meet some of the drivers, Bobby Tanner, Adam Ringer, Travis Lovett. This is where I met Joe Pierce and Ryan Bramhall, and I'm so thankful that Ryan gave me a ride in his buggy here after the races were over. After he finished came in first at the Bounty Hill, he gave me a ride, gave me a rip up Hill 1. So this was my first bouncer race. This is my first ride in a bouncer, and just kind of knocked it out of the park. So I felt very blessed to have met the people that I did. Very thankful for my dad for taking me down there, and actually helping film too. My cousin Wayne as well, and so very humbling times. And but I was hooked, boy. If I could have gone to 100 races this year, I definitely would have. And it all stems from this one trip to a little hole-in-the-wall town in northern New Hampshire. So in April, we launched our Tech Tuesday video series. I'm very confident that we can take this one step further into 2019, do some different video editing and make it more cinematic, but definitely not giving up on Tech Tuesday. I think that it's a great way to help folks out there with their RC rock bouncers. Just received our SSD. In June, July, we finished up the Lowlife buggy and packed it up and headed out west to California. I was able to meet with some vendors there, Mike at Metal Concepts and my good friend Lee from 949 Designs. Going on from my trip to New Hampshire in the spring, I was so fortunate to meet Joe Pierce, great guy, and he had asked me to build a replica of his buggy. So it was a busy fall. I was a full-time student and building buggies all the same, but this thing definitely came out good, and Joe was very happy with it. It was the end of the fall. We packed up and headed to Dyersburg, Tennessee for the SRRS finals. There to film, and it put me right in the middle of the action, right in the middle of all the drivers, everyone that I have been watching on live feeds all year long. Guys like Randall Key run his buggy with all hand controls. Was amazing. Schussler dang near made my ears bleed with his attitude buggy. One of the many highlights of this trip was the Modern Warfare buggy rolling over right in front of me, and then me being able to help roll him back over. I had never really paid attention to the Icelandic guys, but I tell you, after seeing them in person and seeing the hills that they're climbing, I definitely have a newfound perspective. I don't know about the running on water, but hey, you know, it's all in fun. And in what better way to end the season than to see your favorite driver finish out on top here. Tim Cameron had an amazing weekend that weekend. I was able to speak to him several times. Very down to earth, very humble guy. So very happy to see him up on the podium on this trip. Being in Dyersburg, I was actually able to get in front of Clyde Bynum, the president of the NRRA, and discuss an RC rock bouncing series. So almost into December here, we revealed our last build for the year. We decided to do a budget-friendly bomber bouncer. Came out good. We still haven't had a whole lot of time on it to tune shocks or the motor or anything like that, but we will definitely be keeping this thing around long enough to at least ensure that it becomes a hill killer. Early December, we had our first ever, to me anyway, grassroots style rock bouncer race at Regal Hill right here in southwestern San Antonio. We had a good show out. We had 9 buggies. RC Command placed 4th, which is I'm very happy about, and we look forward to the Texas RC Rock Racing Series starting very soon. Number 10 would be Bubba Bacon defeating the undefeatable wall at the Busted Knuckle Off-Road Park. Number 9 would be Tim Cameron pulling off another build like he kind of did with Unfinished Business. I believe this one took him a little bit longer than Unfinished Business, but still hell-bent in a month and a few days, I think. Unbelievable work out of Tim Cameron's shop. Number 8 is a rock bouncer winning the Ultra 4 versus rock bouncer shootout that they have every year. This one was at Dirty Turtle Off-Road. It's friendly competition, but of course, just like in anything else, some people say that U4 are better, some people say rock bouncers are better, but it's all in good fun. Number 7 is the wall at Bikini Bottoms going undefeated. The rules were that the bouncer had to hit the front 2 tires on the base of the wall, and then they could go from there. Number 6 is Agnes blowing up. This is also at Bikini Bottoms, that same race. It was a nitrous shot, and the plastic intake just cannot take it. This isn't the first housing the first intake that we've seen go up this year, but it was definitely pretty scary just because of the fire that was a result of it. Number 5 kind of surprised me. The Outlaw getting a makeover here with a solid rear axle. I thought that buggy was killing it when it had IFS IRS, so I was really surprised to see him go with a trailing arm and a solid rear axle. Number 4 is Marc Nero's buggy. This thing is producing a ton of power. This was built at Sunfire Off-Road, and we didn't see him at a ton of events this year, but the events that we did see him at, buggy seemed to be dialed in pretty well, and I think that if he can consistently make races, then he has as good a possibility as anybody of making podium finishes. Number 3 is the wide open design buggy crash. This was a pretty scary one. In fact, I don't want to say that it was a direct result of this accident, but this buggy went up for sale this year. So pretty scary stuff. But I'm glad it was okay.
Oh my gosh!
Number 2 is Bubba Bacon's run at Dirt Nasty this year. This run just seemed to go on forever. That buggy is so dialed in and is such a monster, but he could not make that hill, and they did break some parts and then finished out, and he came back and destroyed the last and final hill, but definitely wasn't good for his points. This was one of the races where Tim Cameron was able to make up some ground after taking some time away to build Hellbent. Had some new buggies come out this year, and the Rapture buggy was not something new, since we have already seen the Outlaw buggies coming with their motor mounted next to the driver. So nothing new in that sense, but definitely a different look. And this is a pretty stout rig. He's got it working pretty good for him. So I think we could see a lot of big numbers being put up from the Rapture buggy crew. In a sea of unbelievable content here, it's difficult to choose particular runs. Obviously, I might be a little biased because I was in person. I was there when this happened, but John Campbell's run at the first hill of the SRRS finals was a pretty amazing one. It just goes to show the level of commitment that these guys have in their rigs. So John, although it did look like he was done a few times, managed to save the run. So congratulations to him. So my number 1 pick is Tim Cameron, coming back from 7th place in the points to win the SRRS finals. Pretty amazing stuff from this guy. This is his 3rd straight championship, and he just seems to be pushing the envelope when it comes to chassis fabrication, when it comes to racing, all aspects of it. Definitely someone that we all can look up to. So thank you, Timmy, for a great year.